Good evening, everyone. Welcome along to the SFC interviews here with former Stevenage striker Richard Pacquette today. First of all, hopefully I've said your surname right. And how's things, mate?
Yeah, you got that correct. I'm all good. Just here getting through this lockdown. I've still been working, so I've been lucky. I'm working from home a few days and working in the school a few days. So I've been all right. I've been able to get out of the house, and I still go on my runs and etc. Keep my mind occupied.
That's good. Let's have a look here in regards to what I was going to bring you in terms of a couple of questions. So you were brought in initially on a 1-month loan deal from QPR. So how did that deal come about? And obviously bringing you to Stevenage. I think you're about 19 at the time as well. You're only quite young at that point. Yeah.
Yeah. I was at QPR and I was on the bench and stuff. And then Nina Holloway said to me, "You need to go and get a run of games. I'm going to send you out on loan. I'm going to send you to Stevenage." And Wayne Turner was the manager at the time. He knew of me as well because when we played against Peterborough when I was at QPR, I've made a few appearances. I played loads of reserve games as well at QPR. Mm-hmm. So he knew me and he brought me in, and it was just for me to get regular first team experience at that level and being competitive, which I found it helped me out.
And what did you make of Wayne as a manager? What was he like to you, sort of personally?
He was a good manager. We had if people remember, we had quite a youngish side. It was like a lot of players, even the loan players, were players that were at league clubs, but needed first team experience. And I knew Jude Sterling at the time at the club. And when I came to the club, it was very warm and welcoming, and I settled in well.
And that's really good to settle in, quickly and stuff. That's all good. You made your debut in a 1-0 loss to Burton. So how did you find that game? And when did you know that you'd be involved as well?
I sort of knew when I came on loan that I more than likely was going to start. That game against Burton was my first competitive game in a while. Obviously, I made my debut at QPR the season before, but my first experience of competitive. And I remember playing, and after about 10 minutes I was blowing, and I was fit, but I was blowing, and I looked at the clock thinking it was near half time, and it was only 10 minutes gone, and I was like, wow, is this what it is? Was the conference was fast and furious, and
a physical league,
yeah, and physical. And after that 10 minutes I got my second win, and I started getting into it. And then the second game was much easier because I knew what to expect then.
Mm-hmm.
So the first game was a very good Burton side at the time as well, managed by Nigel Clough as well. So I think, Andy Sinton was the manager as well. I think Andy Sinton was. There was a good side, so it was a good experience,
And you scored your first goal in the LDV Vans Trophy, scoring the winner against Swansea and knocking out a league side in Swansea as well, Division 3 at the time. So, what was that like to not just knock out a league side, but to compete against a side from a higher division as well?
Yeah, no, it was good. You want to play against them good sides as well and show what your qualities. I was always confident in scoring goals, and I knew once I settled and things like that, if I get my chance, I'll score a few goals. And especially in LDV and things like that, I was just happy to get off the mark.
And of course, that was the first of a couple of LDV games and goals that you scored. And of course, the round after that was the crazy 4-3 against Luton. So, what was that like to be involved in that one? And of course, such a big derby as well.
Yeah, I didn't realise how big of a derby it was until the actual day, and hearing about the troubles outside the ground and things like that, but it was brilliant. The atmosphere was good, and the fans were pumped up, and it was good. I had a few family members there who come to watch the game as well, so it was a good game to be a part of, and a great experience for my learning as well as a young kid.
Of course, you were there alongside a couple of other really well-known and established strikers as well, with Jean-Michel Seguer and Kurt Jackson. I think you had a partnership with Kurt for a number of games there as well. So, what was that like to kind of be a part of that front two or front three, whatever it may have been, and how important is that for a striker as well to kind of have that relationship with the person that you're playing with?
Yeah, it was good, because Ziggy and Kirk, they're much older than me, they're experienced. I think Kirk played for Yowa as well, so I knew of Kirk as well. And they, even though I was coming from QPR, they still helped me out. They took me under their wing a bit and gave me advice as well. So as a striker as well, whoever you play with, you want to try and form a partnership where you get that understanding, and so you both score goals, and it helps the team collectively.
Absolutely, yeah. And what was it like to be involved in that game against Southport as well? Of course, I think you scored in that game, and then you got sent off as well. So, what was that like to be involved? Obviously, sort of going from high to low, and of course, it was a ridiculous red card from what I remember as well.
Yeah, I think that was 2 yellows. That was, I think it was a harsh second yellow. But Southport is always a tough place to go when you go away. I think we started very well in that game as well. It was an enjoyable game.
Did we end up with, was it that game or the other game where we ended up with 9 men?
Yeah, I got sent off my first game back from suspension at Halifax as well.
That's right. Was that when Richie got sent off as well? Was that this Southport one?
I think so. I think we had 2 that game. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. I was disappointed to get sent off. Because you don't want to come alone. You come alone to get games. You come alone to help the team out as well and do well for yourself and the team. And then you get sent off. So I was disappointed. Get sent off, and then to come back as well, and after my suspension to get sent off straight red, which I thought was harsh. I went up for a header and caught the guy with my elbow.
Mm-hmm.
I got sent a straight red after that again. So I had to have more game bans. It didn't look good on my part.
And of course, we touched on the Luton game there. You also played and equalised in the game against Scarborough as well. Do you reckon we could have, possibly gone on and won that one?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the Scarborough game. Obviously it's a long time ago, but I felt a lot of the games that we did play. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I know in the end Wayne got sacked, but a lot of the games was in it. We had chances. We played well in spells. And I think maybe we just needed to one goal, and that wasn't enough for us. We probably need to put away, make it like 2-3, just to be secure, because we was always leaking goals as well, which didn't help. If you, like you said, the 4-3 game, we're scoring 4 but conceding 3. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's one of them ones that we're unlucky in a lot of games that we lost.
And of course, you came back to the club a second time as well under Graham Wesley. I think you had 1 or 2 games under Graham in the end. And what was the sort of reason behind you wanting to come back a second time and sort of sign up on a permanent?
Yeah, I think I was a free agent at the time. Obviously, I like the club, Stevenage. It weren't too far from me as well, where I was living. Graham Wesley, I know what he expects from his players and things like that, and I came, but obviously they had Anthony Eldin up front.
Yeah.
And I wasn't to be honest, I wasn't as fit as I had been before, where I'd been out of football, So, and I know what Wesley's expectations are as well. Mm-hmm. And I had a few other concrete offers sort of sniffing around as well. So I think after that, I thought I wasn't going to play as much, so I ended up leaving. But I would have loved to have signed back there.
And of course, you played alongside a couple of really talented players there as well. Ronnie Henry, Anthony Eldin, George Boyd. So when did you know that, for example, George Boyd, when did you know that he was going to be the real deal coming through?
So I'll tell everyone this. I knew George when he was coming through the ranks at Stevenage.
Yeah.
When my first spell at Stevenage, he was young and he used to come and train with us. And me, Jude, everyone said this boy's going to be a player. Yeah. He's not quick. He's not. He's got skills, but he's deceiving. He's going to be a player. So when I see him excelled, I was happy for him, And I met him once I was in Westfield Shopping Centre, and I saw him, and we embraced each other,
Mm-hmm.
So he's
just like you're still old pals. Yeah. That's great. And of course with Ronnie as well. Ronnie's now gone on and he's involved with the academy, and he's also, very much involved in he was playing at Billericay as captain. Of course, he's been captain everywhere that he's been with Ronnie.
Yeah.
And what was that like to sort of play alongside Ronnie? And how big is that for him as well to get that achievement to surpass the record?
Yeah, that's good. Ronnie's a good player. Because I think he came from Tottenham as well. He came from, didn't he?
Yeah.
So, yeah, Ronnie's a good player, and he played a lot of games for Stevenage. You can see, even now, I saw him when I watched Woolstone against Billericay, and he was there, and he's still like he was back then, but more mature and experienced. And I know he's part of the coaching role down there as well. So I'm happy for him as well. To play all them games. That's brilliant, man.
And are you still able to keep across Stevenage at the moment, and sort of how Stevenage has been doing under Alex Revell, and are you still kind of able to keep across, club's results and things like that?
Yeah. I still look at the results. I still see how they're doing. I like the way the club developed the training ground. When I was there, we had no training ground. The second time I went there, the training ground was getting built, was nearly finished. So it's nice that they got the training ground and the club's expanding and they've done up the stadium a bit. So I always check results. And I noticed that they've signed this summer. They signed quite a few players from non-league, and try to sign hungry players going back to what they used to do before, which is good. Which is good for the club. I just hope they stay in the league and maintain and hopefully progress over the years.
And of course, your cousin also played for the club as well, Jefferson Louis. So, what were your conversations like with Jefferson? Did you kind of encourage that move on his part?
Not really, When he went there, and he done well. It was him and Eldin as well. So Jeff's a good player. He's like a Wesley type of player as well. Wesley likes big, strong, robust. So I didn't have much of an influence on him. But when he went there, I said it's a very good club. It's a lovely club. Good people there. It's well run. Like that's all you want as a footballer. When you go to a club that makes you feel comfortable and welcome, and that's what Stevenage is.
And of course, in regards to welcome and the club basically making people feel welcome. It kind of brings me into the next point, which is in regards to the community side of it as well. And of course, the club, have always been community based and community focused, sort of focus heavy anyway. And of course, they've been doing it again throughout the pandemic. Even now, they've been basically out and supporting as many people as they can.
Yeah, that's good. I like that a lot of clubs have done that. Because it's been tough times, and having a community football club, that's always, especially obviously Stevenage was a non-league club, so they've got that community aura as it is as well. So to continue doing that, even though in the football league and supporting the community, that's brilliant on the club, and I know a lot of the people around it, Stevenage appreciates that a lot. And
what have you made of the club in recent years as well? Of course, the promotions up from the Conference to League Two, and then again getting the back-to-back promotion into League One as well, and even getting into the playoffs in League One.
That it shows how far the club has come, from non-league. Like I said, when I was there, there was no training ground, so it just shows when the club has a vision and then builds its infrastructure, and then you can see you start attracting quality of players, and things start progressing on the pitch as well. So it's brilliant to see that they've done that, the back-to-back promotions, and got to League One and even touched the playoffs. That shows what kind of club Stevenage is now. You don't think of Stevenage as a non-league club no more.
No, that's true. And of course, it's great that the club have managed to remain in the Football League, and since sort of Christmas sort of time, Boxing Day sort of time, the club have started to pick up more results and kind of push a little bit further away from the drop as well, which is great.
Yeah, that's good. You have to give credit to the chairman. He's been there a long time, and you have to give him huge credit how he's run the club and what he's done, because it's magnificent, really. And through these tough times, and I'm sure he's doing what he can with the community, as well as keeping the club run a good way.
Absolutely. And how important is it for clubs to give these younger players in the academy an opportunity to make a name for themselves as well?
I find it's very important. If you feel a young lad is good enough to be in and around your first team, give him the chance. You can't. You get that cliche of saying, "Oh, you need experience," but the only way you're going to get experience if you have a taster in the first team or being around the first team very often. You know, yes, you might need to send a few youngsters on loan, at times, but they need to be in and around your first team, see what you do as a first team, if they're good enough, and give them a chance. Like being in the squad, if they're good enough to be in the squad, put them in the squad, give them minutes here and there. You know, that's all part of gaining experience and being around experienced people.
Yeah, absolutely. The more that they're around the experience of the first team, then the more that they when they come into it, they'll settle in like a duck to water, really, won't they?
Yeah, definitely.
So let's have a look what we've got next in regards to this. Have you always been involved in the game yourself from a young age? And of course, I think I saw on the stats that you're an Arsenal fan as well. So, how did that come about? Have you been an Arsenal fan sort of from a very young age?
Yeah, as an Arsenal fan from a very young age. My mum supports Arsenal, but I changed to Arsenal from when I was about 9, I think. But the early days I was Liverpool because I used to like John Barnes. But then my mum converted me. But yeah, I've been around in football. Been playing from the age of 6. I've always loved football. My dad was a semi-professional footballer.
Okay.
So I used to go and watch him and always be involved with football. So football's been in my blood from a very long time.
So you've and was that sort of you and Jefferson sort of playing together quite a lot, or?
Yeah, we played at Worthing together. We played at Hammett and Waterlooville together. We played for our parents' country, Dominica, together. You know, so it's good. We're a good partnership to be fair. We're very good together. Actually, we played at Lincoln together as well.
Okay, so you've been 3 or 4 different places together there then. We've got to touch on Havant a little bit as well. When that FA Cup, the game against Liverpool, of course, you scored the opening goal for them that day. And, what was that like? Of course, it's not in your time at Stevenage, but you played against some real talented players on that Liverpool side, didn't you?
Yeah, it was a great experience, the whole day was special. It's a different feeling that I've ever had in football because you're playing on a big stage, against one of the biggest clubs in the world, and I was just hoping I'll get an opportunity to score a goal, and I would just believed in myself that if I did get a chance, I would score, and it came to me, and I scored a few headers that season in similar positions, and for it to happen again against Liverpool in front of the Kop was special.
That's right, of course it was. It was in front of the Kop end as well, and that was back when there were fans in the stadiums as well, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was. To be fair, I was surprised they clapped me when I scored. I was quite surprised, so it was nice.
And I remember this game here, the QPR against Cardiff playoff final that you were involved in as well. I remember that one. So what was that like to of course go back to QPR, and then I think you played quite a bit for them, got yourself a couple of goals, and then played in that final as well.
Yeah, it was after I left Stevenage. I went back. Holloway called me back early from my loan, and he said, "I'm going to give you a run of games in the side." And then I had hit the ground running when I went back. So I had a good spell when I came back from my loan, and then obviously we got to the playoffs. I came on in both legs of the semi-finals and done well. And then the day before the final, he pulled me and said, "I'm going to start you tomorrow." So I knew the day before. So I was happy. It was a privilege to play. I've always wanted to play on a big stage like that. Unfortunately, the result didn't help us. But it was a great experience playing Millennium Stadium in front of 69,000 fans. And it was just brilliant, I just wished I scored. That's the only thing.
And of course, that was against. It wouldn't have been at the Millennium Stadium because it was against Cardiff.
Yeah, because Wembley was closed. It was
so Cardiff played at their in Wales, really?
Yeah, because they played. That's where they're hosting all the finals at the Millennium Stadium. So
I couldn't remember that one being in Wales because obviously Cardiff is obviously a Welsh side, but obviously they did then. All right.
Yeah. So we had 30,000 fans each.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. That's great moment to be involved in, though. And of course, the result didn't go your way, but that was obviously great for you to go back to QPR and then to carry on scoring a couple of goals there and playing in a big final.
Yeah, it was good day.
And you touched on earlier on that you also played and scored for your country against Barbados, wasn't it? So, what's that like to actually say you got a cap for your country and you scored a goal there as well? I think you got two caps actually for your country.
Yeah, it was brilliant. I got loads of family in Dominica. The first leg was in Dominica against Barbados. All my family was there, and to score my debut, it was lovely, and it's just a different atmosphere. It's like a carnival atmosphere when you play in the Caribbean, and the weather's nice. You play at night time, even though they ain't football stadium. We played in the cricket stadium, which was a bit different.
Okay,
but it was a good experience. And the second leg in Barbados was even better because obviously we knew a few of the Barbados players because a lot of them play in England. A few of them played in England as well, so we all travelled together as well.
all right.
So and after the game, we had a few days in the country, so we had a few days together in the country as well. So it was a good experience,
And of course, so you just said that you travelled along with some of the Barbados players from England as well, then, so that's obviously good to be involved in that.
One of them was ex Stevenage as well.
Which one was that? Who was that?
John Nurse.
Oh, Nursey. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember Nursey when he played for us. He was a top player. He was a real. It was a real fantastic guy as well. Really nice guy. Yeah,
lovely guy.
I remember a couple of games that he scored. I think that he scored against, was it Woking? I know he went out on loan to Woking anyway, but yeah. Let's have a look here. So are you still involved in football at the moment? Last I saw you were at Harefield United. Are you still on the books there, or have you sort of moved on from that now?
Yeah, I'm still at Harefield United. I'm player coach down there. I enjoy it. At the time I was playing some elsewhere and the club folded, and my mate's assistant manager at Harefield, and he was like, come down. And I was like, I didn't want to drop down that low, but he said, we're a decent side, come and have a look. So I came and have a look, and I liked what I saw. The club's run properly. They said I can do some coaching, I can take forwards, and I just settled in well there. And my first season there, I joined in November, and that season we went the whole season unbeaten. I scored 25 goals, and then I do a bit of coaching I help out in the under 18s as well. Do a bit of coaching there. I take all the forwards. I help out in the reserves. So it's a family club. It's well run. It's not far from home because I've travelled everywhere with football, and I'm enjoying it. I really am.
And that's great that you're still, involved in the game as well now. And of course, with the pandemic that we're in, obviously you're not able to play or anything like that at the moment. How are you running? You still running coaching sessions and stuff online, or?
No, I work in a secondary school, so during the week I'm working still. On the weekends, I ain't been doing nothing. I've just been going on runs myself, really. I just go on runs. I still feel fit. I feel I'm probably in quite the best shape I've ever been in a long time. I think I'm better than when I was young, because as you get older, you get wiser.
Yeah.
I feel good. I say I'm like vintage wine. So yeah, I got a good few more seasons in me.
And that's good then, obviously, that you still have a bit of time to play in the game and to achieve some more great memories as well, like you did with Stevenage and also that one with Havant there and QPR.
Yeah,
John Nurse got the winner versus Woking in the 95th minute. I'm sure, I was sure that he'd scored against Woking. I didn't know what game it was, what season, but I know he probably did.
Yeah.
So let's have a look if there's anything else that needs covering. There isn't too much else. What advice would you give to sort of up and coming, youngsters who want to get involved in football as well in some capacity?
You have to work hard. Nothing's a given. You have to work hard. Work on your craft. When you look at all the youngsters always look at Messi and Ronaldo. Yeah, you can look at them, but you have to think to yourself, why are they where they are season after season?
Yeah.
It's dedication, hard work. They do extras away from their clubs. You know, if you want to be the best and continue performing, you got to do all the right things and work hard, and also enjoy it as well. You have to enjoy what you do.
All right, I think we're going to actually wrap it up there. Then there wasn't loads to get through, but thank you for taking some time out this evening, and yeah, hopefully we're all able to get back to stadiums and support our local teams or the teams that we love and follow in the next couple of months.
Yeah, thanks for having me, mate. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Cheers. Thanks a lot, mate.
All right.
Cheers. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.